Hey everyone, my name is Penny Zanker, and it's time to reset. This podcast goes beyond just navigating change. It's about new ways of thinking about how you can approach challenges, how you can shift your mindset when needed, create some space and grace for yourself so that you can rethink, recharge, and reprioritize when and where needed. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Thank you for hitting play and sharing this next episode with me. It's time to reset. Hello, and welcome to Take Back Time. My name is Penny Zanker, and I'm your host. And on this show, we're always looking for interesting people. And today we not only have an interesting person, but she has an interesting accent and, of course, a very fantastic story. And we are talking to Fiona Lambert today, and she has a proven track record in brand building and transformation and delivering market growth. She has an entrepreneurial attitude. She's high energy and positive, creative. And there's so many awesome things that she was just telling me as she's won an Innovator Award. She's vice president of the 20 Club, and she's won a Lifetime Achievement Award and is a powerful businesswoman. So without further ado, I'm going to let Fiona tell you all about herself right from herself. So Fiona, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to join you. I'm really looking forward to talking to you, Penny. So thank you for the fabulous intro. I think that hopefully the reason as well that it's going to be interesting chat is I've had a 37-year career in fashion and run big businesses in the UK, looking after all of their product offers and taking brands that weren't working and turning them around. So I've got a reputation for brand transformation. Last year, I hit 60. And it was, whether it's because I work in fashion retail, it was one of those things I was thinking, I really don't want to tell anyone I'm 60 because it feels such a sort of, milestone age that you're going to go downhill. And I decided to reset it myself and decided to get my absolute fittest at 60. It ended up getting covered by the Times newspaper. I got 3 pages in the Times newspaper.
Wow.
And from that, I had a complete career pivot and have become an author myself and a fitness and lifestyle influencer, hopefully inspiring people to see 60 as a beginning and not the beginning of the end.
I see those massive arms. For those of you,
the guns.
For those of you who aren't seeing this on YouTube, she's really got the fitness going there. So it's so interesting that you were building brands, you were big into fashion and doing these brand transformations. So does that mean it was easy for you to make this transformation because you're a transformation specialist?
It was interesting in hindsight to look at it because it was actually somebody else who observed it. And they said, you've taken your talent for business and you've turned it on yourself and how you've approached getting fit. And I hadn't really thought about it that way before. But in the book I've written, which is called actually Invincible, Not Invisible, because I decided I wasn't going to be, everybody talks about feeling invisible as they age, and I wanted to feel invincible instead. The way I structured it was, you know yourself, mindset is the first and foremost thing. And so many people start on a fitness journey or go on a diet or join a gym and then it goes. So the first bit was about, using lots of the business coaching I've had to actually make sure your mindset was in the right place, resetting your mindset so that you could go on this journey, because otherwise you're never going to stick to it. So I guess I turned, whether it is coaching or strategy, and put together the 5 Ps, which are about finding a purpose, preparing, perseverance, people and positivity, and having those 5 things in place before you even start the part of the book that's on exercise and nutrition.
Absolutely. Well, let's come back to that. I want to just talk about that mindset piece a little bit and connect it to some of the work that I'm doing. So thinking about what you've gone through, what would you say, and I know you don't have the definition as I've defined it, but what would you say is a reset mindset to you? What is the definition to you?
I was thinking about this. I think the old adage, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got, comes to mind for me, because I think if you want to make any sort of change, you need to change your mindset first, and you need to be able to turn can't into can, and you need to take time to do that.
So a lot of people see that as like, oh, well, that's just positive BS, right? Oh, you're going to turn can't into can. How does one actually do that so that people feel it's accessible, right? I think that's one of the challenges is they're like, well, that's not who I am. I am who I am kind of thing.
Yeah. In the book, I do talk about the 5 Ps. I think First and foremost, you have got to have a purpose, whether that's business strategy or yourself. I think anybody that thinks, well, I just want to look like somebody else, it's never enough of a purpose, I think, to hold you to it. So whether it is investing in your future health, or whether it's planning for a big event that you want to feel amazing at, or you don't want to have a sort of a genetic health issue that your parents have got that you want to work towards improving. So for me, finding a purpose that is going to hold you fast, it is going to be the thing that makes a difference.
Because that's leverage, right? If you don't have that, how do you get through those hard times if you don't have that purpose that's really driving you? Like you said, that could be an event that you just want to look fabulous for, or it could be that you want to be able to pick up your grandchildren or have energy. I love what you said, that you didn't want to be invisible, you wanted to be invincible. And it can be also just a little mantra like that can just fire you up.
I talk about preparation as well. I don't know, having our hair done or having our nails done, and that's in your diary and you keep it. Whereas I plan my diary around investing in my future health. That's actually more important than my hair, although I want to get my hair done as well. I think investing that time, thinking about those appointments in your diary. So I do get up in the morning. I try and get my fitness routine done first thing. You'll be familiar with the Eat the Frog time management tool, where actually if you've got to eat a frog as part of your job, you do it first thing to get it out of the way. And that's how, I do my exercise first thing, but I put my gym kit, next to the bed. So that's the first thing I see, and then that's done. So I think a lot of planning and preparation around managing your time and thinking this is an investment in my health versus having your nails and your hair done, and means you will be, hopefully, I want to make the next 30 years be as interesting and fun-filled and energetic as the last 60.
Well, like you said, it's energy, right? Being energetic. So if you do it in the morning, it's going to give you more energy throughout the whole day, which is probably going to boost your productivity just there, right? So that could be the reason, right?
And it is mindset as well. I think that if you start the day well, you're more inclined to keep a good progress throughout the day.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I do first thing in the morning. Is I also go to a class, and I like to go to a class because I like to add that accountability piece in. I can put it in my calendar, but it might feel flexible, and I could, maybe I could push it back a half an hour, or this way I have to be there at a specific time if I want to make that class. And I find that accountability really suits me.
The people section of the book does talk about accountability, and a class is a great way to do it. I also think sharing your goals with your friends, or when I was working on my transformation, I arranged to meet a friend for a walk every Sunday. And I knew I was committed to doing that, and I'd be letting her down as well as myself if I didn't turn up. So I think, finding people to hold you accountable, sharing your goals with your friends and your family, whether it's a PT or whether it's a gym class, all those things are really important. You have to get people on board as well to share your goal.
Yeah, it's more fun that way, right?
Oh,
then
100%.
You celebrate together.
Exactly. You're going to celebrate. And actually celebrating was talk about like the positivity part in the book. Often people get very caught up and look at the end goal and get a bit intimidated by it. So whether it is running a marathon or whether it is losing weight or whatever the sort of fitness goal is about, people often don't start because they are so intimidated by the fact that it feels like a very long and unattainable goal. Part of what I talk about is actually planning it as lots of small goals. And then you can celebrate those wins and you can celebrate with your family, and actually you can watch your progress. And it's managing it in those little chunks rather than thinking about this end goal that feels just a bit too unachievable. But I think those attainable goals will give you a chance to celebrate with those friends.
Yeah, I have this little thing to set it and forget it with the goal. Like set that intention, but then don't be so focused on it. Because like you said, then just focus on the next milestone or the smaller pieces. It just makes it that much easier. Before you know it, you look back and go, whoa, look how far I've come, right?
Yeah, I climbed Kilimanjaro actually last year. And it's one of those things when you're sort of looking at it miles away and it just seems impossible. But then you see other people on their way up and you go, well, hang on, they're there. And then you suddenly realize when you're there, other people are looking at you. And it's like that all the way along.
Yeah, it's a journey. I was talking to somebody the other day. He made some decisions about his resetting his health and starting the new year in that place, or actually started before the new year. And we were talking about when you make it part of your identity, right? That it's not just something that you do, but I am a healthy person or a health nut, or however you want to describe it with an I am, and you really make it part of who you are, it's kind of pre-decided. It takes less effort right? And there's less of that resistance. So if you think about it, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. If someone says, I'm a vegetarian, they don't fret over the fact that it's not that they can't eat meat, they don't eat meat, right? So we could say, I don't eat after 7 p.m. or I don't eat sugar or whatever it might be, because it's a lifestyle choice of who I am.
Yes.
Do you talk about anything with that in the book, or do you feel
I
that
do.
personally
I do.
that you made that shift?
Yeah, 100%. So the language you use when you're talking to yourself is incredibly powerful. You'll know about neurological path. So actually, if you go, I don't like exercise, that's something you're instilling in yourself, as opposed to, I'm going to enjoy my exercise today. It's a change in mindset. Or I can never lose weight, as opposed to, I'm going to eat healthy food. The language you use to yourself is incredibly strong and will impact on your attitude. Funny if I had some t-shirts printed with Invincible and I put it as my screensaver, because that was the mindset I wanted. I wanted to feel visible. And it's great to do that if you've got goals or you've got things you want to do. Having them somewhere where you can see them every single day as well helps.
Totally. I believe that language does make a huge difference in us. We are reinforcing those paths one way or another, whether it's in our benefit or whether it's out of our benefit.
Yeah. Talk of manifestation at the moment, and you choose to believe what you will. But I do think you can absolutely change your mindset with language, whether it's vision boards, sharing your goals makes them more likely to happen because people will be supportive. So whether it's manifestation, is all of those things added up, I think, to help you get to where you want to be.
That's amazing. So you said that's the first part of the book, are these P's. Is there anything else out of that section that you wanted to share that I didn't ask you?
No, actually, I think, as I said, that, finding your purpose, preparing. I did talk about perseverance, because I think that people don't talk about is actually, this is not a quick fix. It's a change in lifestyle. And so the whole point about changing your mindset in 90 days is the 21-90 rule is you can break a habit in 21 days, but you can create it into a lifestyle if you can maintain it for 90 days. So that's why the whole thing was about changing your mindset and your body in 90 days. The reality is that there's quite a lot of repetition in keeping fit. You are going to be doing, whether it's a lot of sit-ups or a lot of squats, and you can do variations on them. And I love HIIT training, but that's a fabulous use of time because it's incredibly effective. It raises your metabolic rate. You burn lots of calories in a very short time, but it's quite repetitive. So finding ways to keep you on a journey, make it entertaining, whether it's with friends, but people don't talk about the fact that there's an element of consistency that you have to do as well. So one of the P's was perseverance. So I think I talked about the preparation and the people and the positivity, but yeah, perseverance was definitely one of them.
Well, and preparation helps you to persevere too, right? So I think they support each other.
They do. Yes. Filling your fridge with healthy food versus the reverse. Preparing will help you persevere.
Well, when you go to the fridge, if that's all that's there, you're going to eat what's there. If there's carrots there, you're going to eat the carrots. If there's chocolate there, then you're going to eat the chocolate, right?
Oh, absolutely. Make life easy for yourself.
So the second part is nutrition, did you say, right?
Yeah. So I've got a section, the first bit's about mindset. Then there's a section on nutrition and supplements. And then I've actually done lots of exercises. I think there's about 140 pages of exercises you can do. And there's a beginner's version and an intermediate version, so that anybody can do them at home. So there's no excuse. You don't need to go to the gym. On my Instagram account, which is Fiona Lambert Official, I do lots of little demonstrations. I call it my kitchen workouts as well. And I do Mondays as well, where I work out with my mum. But it's actually just showing you don't need to be a gym bunny if you want to get into your best shape.
No, there's so many things you can do. I remember when my kids were just born and I was like, okay, I have to do sit-ups because I don't want my stomach to stay like this. So I would just rest the baby on my legs if I had my legs sort of like sitting up, rest her there. And then I would sit up and then be like, boop, 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 boop. And then it was fun and I was exercising. And so there's so many things that we can do that are easy and accessible. I love that you have them in your book as well. Let's talk just for a moment about nutrition. So my son is really big into fitness and the whole fitness, he had anxiety and the fitness was brought into place to help him with the anxiety. And it totally did because there is that mind-body connection. Mm-hmm. And for a while, he was like ridiculous on nutrition. So he like went around the house and even for peanut butter or anything, he put like a skull and bones and making all this stuff like you can't eat that. So it was like zero fat. And I think that may scare people. And there's so many different opinions about what you can eat and what you can't eat. And on this diet, you can eat as much steak and butter and whatever that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we know what's best for us and that can work?
I don't pretend to be a huge expert. I share what I did. So what I did was I ended up eating a very high protein, low carb diet, which was actually something I was doing anyway, but I extended it. And the reality, as you age as a woman, you do need a much higher protein content in your diet to maintain your muscle mass. Because I think a lot of people do gain weight as they get older, but it gathers around their middle. And so actually doing exercise and having a diet that's higher in protein is good for you. And probably a lot of people undereat the amount of protein that they should eat. I cut out sugar in order to get into my best shape at 60. So I gave it up in all its guises. So I gave it up as lactose, fructose and sucrose. Now I don't do that now. So a lot of people go, well, that's a lot to do. Well, I thought, well, I can do it for 90 days. I can do it for 90 days. And then it's the 80-20 rule. So if you're good 80% of the time, you can enjoy yourself for 20%. Something actually, which I think people don't realize though, is often if your goal is about losing weight, when you hit that weight, you can't go back to eating the same amount of calories before, which a lot of people will do thinking I've lost the weight I needed to lose. There is obviously you're burning less calories. I do talk about that in the book. The reality is I worked out what calories I needed as well, because I did want to lose a bit of weight and I knew what calorie deficit. And there is a simple equation, calories in versus calories out makes a massive difference. So I talk about actually logging what you eat, because I think a lot of us fog eat where we don't actually realize what we're eating. But genuinely, like I said, I think the fact that you've created a new lifestyle. For example, I gave up milk in coffee. I could never drink coffee without milk. And because I gave up dairy, started to drink black coffee, it became a new habit. So now I drink black coffee. So if you can do that 21 days of breaking a habit, you can stick to the new way of working, the new habits, and they become a lifestyle.
And I know you're saying that if you do it for 90 days, is that what you said? Then it becomes a lifestyle. Yes. I still believe that it's the identity, is that you shifted the way that you thought and said, this is more important to me because this is who I want to be. And so therefore you can continue it. I think if the two aren't in line, like if you haven't really shifted your mindset to really say, this is my lifestyle and how I want to live, then it could be easy to fall back into an old habit or an old way of doing it.
You saying that hadn't made me realize before, but maybe my reset was also this for myself as well as for others, the perception of what 60 looks like, or what does a 60-year-old woman look like and dress like and sound like. And like I said, last year I turned 60 and had a massive pivot in career, climbed Kilimanjaro, and becoming an author, which I never, after 37 years in fashion, never intended to be. And actually it's exciting now, the people who do follow me on social media, they're kind of going, go girl, I'm out there as role model of going, nobody's going to put Fiona in the corner. I'm going out there making sure that I'm role modeling how fabulous being in your 60s can be.
Yeah, I love that. And so was that reset moment, like, when was it before you turned 60 that you decided that? Like, did something happen? Was it the way you were thinking about it?
I was training with a PT once a week. I was fit before. It wasn't like I was terribly unfit before, but he said, you don't realize how motivational it is for people to see you. And people often go, how old you are. And he said he was kind of going, let's get you in your best shape at 60. And it ran parallel to me thinking about, why is it I don't want to say my age to people? Because you suddenly seen as a different person, and whether it's somebody less relevant. So the two things ran hand in hand, that it was a sort of personal goal of, so, I'm quite goal orientated, and I love to do, always have a sort of ambition to something in the future that I can go and train for or exercise or learn for myself or for others. I just thought, I'm going to make 60 something to celebrate. As I said, it's a beginning, not the beginning of the end, and go into it really relishing it.
That's fantastic. So is there anything that I didn't ask you yet that you think is important to share?
I think one of the joys as well about doing this and been quite interesting is being able to say no to things, which is maybe one of the things that comes with joy with age, but also I do think it's about a reset mindset, is how, as I said, my career has pivoted. And it's sometimes you get tempted back into, I don't know, whether it's events or meetings, because that's what you used to do. And I do think for people who have a goal or an aspiration, to say no to things that actually don't serve the purpose of where you're going. And it's interesting now because my life has changed so much in the last 18 months of how much more I'm confident more and more in saying no to things that don't serve what I'm doing now. And I do think that's something about a mindset thing and a reset thing that you've got to work out, what do you say yes to? Because it's going to deliver something on in your purpose or your goal. And what do you say no to? Because it's what other people expect you to say yes to, but actually it's not going to serve you.
Yeah, I kind of call those kind of reset moments is to remind you when you're in one of those critical choice points that you remind yourself what your goal is, right? That's the idea of a reset moment, is to say, is this in line with what's important to me? And if it is, then it's a hell yes. You've heard that expression, or hell no, right? You can't sort of live in a place where you just say yes to things and put one foot in, but not really be fully engaged. You might as well really just say no to something so that you can focus on the things that you want to say yes to.
Yeah, and I think that's applicable to you as a person, but also to businesses or teams you're working with. It's very easy to get distracted.
Especially today, right? Of course, for sure.
Yeah.
We have more temptations than ever. What did I read? Something that we have more information flow to us in one day than someone in the 1900s had their entire life.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah, it is incredible.
The early 1900s. So yeah. Last question. What's your favorite sort of reset practice? Something that helps you get unstuck? Because you get stuck too, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
when
definitely.
You get stuck, what's your go-to practice that helps you get unstuck?
I think it's often external noise that's the biggest distraction. Personally, I love to go for a walk. You know, I'm a very lively person and meditation is not my thing. I'm not very good at that. So I actually think taking time out without music, going for a walk and actually just refocusing is my way of doing it. And not only that, it's part of your 10,000 steps a day. So it's a good thing to do.
There you go. And would that be in nature? Would it be something outside in nature that would also sort of give you that? I love to be in nature too. There's something about walking through the woods or just paying attention to the beautiful surroundings. Even if it's cold or raining, it's still beautiful.
And I think it's important if you do it without music as well, because as you say, you know, whether it's the wind in the trees or the birds or the sound of rainfall or the smells of rainfall, I think all of your senses are much more acute as well.
Absolutely, because you're really not paying attention. If you're listening to music, that's what you're paying attention to. So I would agree. I took a little bit of a drive home on a journey that I was on and just left the radio off and just was with my thoughts. And it was really, really nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed it too.
Yeah. So tell me, where can people find out more information about you and follow you so that they can, get a hold of your new book?
Yeah, so the book's called Invincible, Not Invisible, and it's available on most book retailers. It's available on Amazon in the US. I am on Fiona Lambert Official on Instagram and on TikTok, and I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Fantastic. We'll have all of those links on our show notes as well with this recording. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. It's been a joy to talk to you.
Yeah, it was great. And great to have all of you here. I don't care what age you are, moving and investing in your health and wellness and being fit is going to make you more confident. It's going to make you more creative. It's going to make you happier in your life.
And it's important not to compare. You can be the best version of you. And that's all about that in the book as well. So I think that's the route to happiness too.
Absolutely. So there you have it from Fiona. Make yourself not invisible, but what did you say?
Invincible.
I lost it for a second there. So go ahead and make sure that you make yourself invincible by bringing this habit and this way of thinking, this mindset about how important health is to you and for your future and for those around you. My name is Penny Zanker, and this is Take Back Time. We'll see you in the next episode. Hey, thank you for spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If you're feeling a little off, distracted, overwhelmed, stuck, or just out of sync, remember that's your signal to reset. And that's all it takes, just recognizing one reset moment at a time. So stay tuned for more tips, tools, tricks, stories, strategies, all here on Time to Reset. We'll see you in the next episode.